Okay, hello everyone. Tejas, can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yeah, you are audible, no problem.
Okay, great. Thank you everyone for joining. Uh, just before we begin, I would like to give some instructions here. So no hard and fast rule here, but I would just like to say that you all have the unmute option. So we have intentionally kept that. So actually, we have a Q&A section at the end, and here you are you are, all have joined as a newbie, so you will obviously have many questions in your mind. So we have a Q&A section at the end. So if you feel like asking any question, so you can just type in the chat or wait up till the Q&A section where you can raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask if you want to. And through the whole session, feel free to switch on your webcam video. Else it's up totally up to you if you want to or if you don't want to. You can switch it on. It's up to you totally. So just stay with us. Just try not unmuting up to the Q&A section, or just unmute or unmute everyone. So we have our partners here. So let's just make this event an interactive session and a great session here. So yeah, that's it. So nothing hard and fast rules. So just these are small things that we should keep in mind. Okay, so let us begin. So just before we begin, I would like to introduce myself first. I am Fazan from India, a final year engineering student and Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. Currently uh, pursuing my computer engineering. So I would like to add in that I'm also a mixed reality evangelist. So I just love mixed reality so much. I also did my mixed reality project, final year project in mixed reality domain with my great teammates. And so yeah, I just keep on doing many sessions in mixed reality, and uh, hope hope you might have seen my other sessions, or if you are joining here for the first time, we will be having many sessions, and some of them are already on YouTube. You can just to know more about me, you can just check about me on my portfolio. It's fazanakhtar.com. That was about me. Proceeding with, I would just like to introduce our guest speaker here. So, hi Zakaria. Uh,
Hi,
Hi. Can you please briefly introduce yourself?
sure. So first of all, thanks a lot, Faizan, for the invitation and for having me here. My name is Zakaria Jaiathe, so I go by Zach. I'm based in Berlin, Germany. My background is mathematics and computer science. So, um, yeah, I got my bachelor in math and then my master degree in computer science. That was 7 years ago, actually. And then I worked for 5 6 years, mainly at SAP. If you don't know it, it's like a giant software uh, firm company here in Europe and one of the biggest software companies in the world. I worked mainly as software engineer, different teams, different grades. I was then a senior software engineer. Then I started working for the CTO of SAP, where I focused more on augmented reality and virtual reality. And yeah, I had like a beautiful job, beautiful life. I was traveling the world, earning very good money here. And from one day to the other, I decided to quit and start my own company. For a lot of people, it was a surprise. Yeah, but I just felt it was the right moment, the right thing to do at that time. And now I'm founder of a mixed reality focused, very successful company here in Germany called Exhibits for a year and a half right now. And we do specialize in basically building mixed reality software. I'm gonna come back to that at certain points. But yeah, that's the introduction.
Yeah, thank you so much for introducing yourself. And yeah, Zakaria is such a great personality. About the startup we told just now, Exhibit XR was, it was just mentioned by Forbes recently last week. So that's actually a great achievement too. And yeah, the company has been really doing great. And I have watched many webinars of it. So yeah, he will tell you more about that in the upcoming video, in the upcoming webinar. So let's just proceed with the agenda that we are having here. Okay, let me just So this is the agenda of today's session that we are going to have here. So first, it will be just an introduction part where I'll be telling you more about something about what exactly is XR, extended reality, or VR, AR, MR, and what are the key differences between these three domains. Like it's actually very confusing to many people out there, many students out there. So and it's mostly needed for a newbie. So and continuing with that, as the session is titled Mixed Reality with Magic Leap, so we'll just see what is Magic Leap. Then we will proceed to what are some applications of mixed reality. So real life applications. And then when we are done with introduction part, uh, we'll be having our next session where Zakaria will be sharing some insightful thoughts, which has his insightful and would inspiring journey which he has covered up till now. And then comes here the question answer session where we have some questions which arises in the mind of newbies. So we'll just have a panel discussion and we'll just know Zakaria's views on those questions and guidance if any. And then we'll have the Q&A section where all of you attendees can either unmute, or if you type in the chat, the questions will be saved. So I would again encourage all the attendees. So if you feel any doubt, let it be any small doubt, just type it in the chat or wait up till the Q&A section to unmute and just come up and ask the question. Okay, so let's move on and moving on to the next slide. So yeah, what exactly is mixed reality? Uh, Before that, what is extended reality? So let me begin by sharing on what is extended reality. There has been really a blurry line between all of the realities itself. So VR, AR, MR, really confusing. So let me just have clear all those things for you. I would say. That XR pretty much encompasses an umbrella of virtual reality, which is also known as VR, augmented reality AR, and mixed reality MR. So, what VR is exactly that you are occluded and or blocked from your surroundings, where you can't see your surroundings at all, and you're immersed or transferred to a new virtual world, and you get disconnected from the world which you are in. So it is a good in a way, but it's like it's not satisfying. You are getting disconnected from your real world and you can't do with it. So moving on, let's see what is augmented reality. So for augmented reality, it is more of a 2D overlay where you are able to place objects or say screen layer in your entire view. AR is now improving day by day, and there are many applications which are daily coming out there in the world. Um, and moving on, uh, hello, can anyone confirm if I'm audible?
Yeah, you are audible, no problem. No. We can see the screen and you are audible, no background noise. So you can go on, no problem. Probably there is some network issue, sorry for that. And so maybe Faizan can continue after that. Is I'm visible, Zakaria? Can you? Oh yeah,
Sure.
Faizan.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible, no problem.
Sorry for the technical glitch there. Let me just share my screen again and continue.
Uh, yeah, that will be great.
Okay, can you confirm if my screen is visible?
Yeah, it's visible, no problem.
Okay, so was my definition about augmented reality audible? So, or should I just continue again from augmented reality?
Yeah, you should continue after that.
Okay, after augmented reality. So, okay, so after moving from augmented reality and in the XR line, we are essentially have mixed reality, which we can call what is we call and place 3D virtual objects in our real world, and actually you can interact with them. So it's not just like seeing 2D objects lying in our world. You can actually interact with them. You can actually touch them. So there are many things, many features, other features too, which we'll be covering. So before moving on, there's a good example here. Imagine you're picking up a ball and dropping the ball on a virtual table, and it's rolling across the table, and the ball is rolling across the table. It falls off the table. It actually drops off the table and bounces on the floor. So you can just imagine how nice it would look. You are actually a virtual ball, and it's interacting with the physical table in your real world. So yeah, this is all we can say. What exactly is mixed reality? If you can say, um, moving on, we will say that essentially many lot of hardware providers are trying to get the best of all worlds, combining all, each of the elements together and getting out many headsets out there. um, so what we can say is we see VR devices similar to more and more MR headsets, mixed reality headsets. So there are pretty much features used by these devices such as environment surrounding, uh, and in-hand gestures, eye tracking, and many others, which all combine to make VR, AR, MR more popular in the upcoming future and present too. Um, so let's move on to the next slide and see what we have. So yeah, we have mixed realities, pros and cons. Obviously, we do have many pros and cons of each and every domain. So I would like to share what are pros and cons of mixed reality. So starting with the pros, we can say that we have things like face-to-face human connection, and we're still able to see in the real world, while interacting with these virtual objects, which is very important when it comes to user experience. We can also collaborate with others. We also have active scanning around the scanning the environment around us, and actually knowing what all objects are there in our environment. Then there are many gestures which helps us to interact with those objects or interact in the environment, we can say. But on the contrary, it is still a developing technology and slightly on a higher price end, because it's still new to everyone. Like we all are newbies here. I started in this domain a year ago. It's not like it was a year ago. It was there from very beginning, but people are now getting aware to this technology. So as people will just go, and as the time passes by, obviously the price will decline as more and more people get aware of this. And it still has a limited field of view, actually the area through which you go, also known as field of view. uh, but yeah, obviously, as I said, in the upcoming time this will definitely improve, and many things will change on. So that was all about mixed reality. So let me just tell how you experience mixed reality. So there are many mixed reality headsets provider out there. So MagicLeap is one of them. So which brings us to our next question, like what exactly is MagicLeap? So I would like to call up Zakaria here and let us know like what exactly is MagicLeap, as he has worked with MagicLeap for a long time now, and he can actually explain us what exactly is MagicLeap. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah, thanks a lot, Faizan. I actually do have a Magic Leap just next to me here. Um, so here it is. I'm not sure if you can see it. Um, and it comes also with a controller. So Magic Leap is basically a mixed reality headset, or there is also another term that is used, which is spatial computing. So Magic Leap do use a lot, like the term spatial computing to replace mixed reality, but I don't want to confuse people. Again, we also just do use mixed reality in general. Maybe a lot of people are familiar with, again, a lot of virtual reality devices. But yeah, I mean, this device, like the Magic Leap, I can see through it. So if I put it like that, I'm able actually to see everything. Like I see my hands, I see pretty much like everything very normal. But then when it is on, I could also see virtual objects interacting with space. I love the duck example that you meant, like that you showed with the occlusion. So yes, any virtual objects, I could actually make it interact with space. And to add also to that example of basically a duck behind a table, if I also can have a ball fall in, it can actually, I can program it in a way that it can fall on the table, the physical table that I have, and then yeah, just stay on top of the table, or even fall after in some other direction. Magic Leap, I would say it's like one of the most known mixed reality headsets. Like the top three, I would say, in the world right now, maybe HoloLens, Magic Leap, and to a certain extent Unreal. There are lots, like tons of other headsets. But Magic Leap, I would say it's among like the top existing one. They have been consumer oriented at the beginning. So the first goal was that this device, like in the contrary to HoloLens, was more for the consumer. It was like for people to be used in their like homes, and the bigger vision is like people at certain points could actually even have it and walk around with it in the streets. In terms of the specs, it's better than HoloLens 1, slightly maybe less or comparable to HoloLens 2. So it's a pretty powerful device. You don't need to connect it to any laptop. So that's basically the computing units. This is where there is like the processor, the memory, the graphic card, and everything. And just like with this cable, you just don't need to connect it to any computer to do basically the computing. This is, I mean, I can talk like more about the headsets, but again, it depends on what you really want to know. When it comes to developing, and I do think that's a very like it's asked a lot, like this question: how can people start developing on Magic Leap? So I want to make it very clear: you do not need the device to develop on Magic Leap. I mean, you just maybe I can share my screen and I will show you one thing. So here I'm sharing my entire screen, and yeah, so now I think you do see it. So you can
Yeah, it's
already,
visible.
okay, cool. So you can just go on Magic Leap website. It's like magicleap.com, and then you can download the lab. And basically, this is like the framework of basically developing and starting to develop on Magic Leap. There are like really a lot of cool tutorials out there. I won't basically go through the tutorials right now, but this is like the starting point, and you can basically have a simulator, and you just develop and you run on the simulator. You create your own room, and then you see how it will look like in reality. So you can already start developing on Magic Leap and be like super advanced, or like go very advanced in your application before you decide that it makes sense to purchase like a Magic Leap headset. So the cost of Magic Leap, it is, I think, still very expensive. But yeah, in comparison to HoloLens, it's half the price, like 2,000 something dollars. So yeah, if you compare it to HoloLens, it's cheaper. If you compare it to any other device, probably it's a bit more expensive. But again, the cool thing is that you can already start developing on Magic Leap without needing actually the device immediately. So don't wait till you get the device to start developing. You can already learn. And yeah, if you go to their website, so there is like here, there is developer, and there are really a lot of cool tutorials like here. Like you just go to learn, and you will find in this, you will find in these guides the developer portal. So usually whenever we hire someone new and we want that person to develop on Magic Leap, I always just recommend them to go in this develop and then start here till basically Unity, and dive in deep into like all the Unity setup, controller input, how to use hand tracking, how to use like image tracking. So here you have like really simple examples. You can, it's already like their SDK comes with a lot of examples, and you just need to first run them to understand how it works in the simulator, and then you can already start modifying them to fit your needs. So you just go through all that. When it comes, again, I'm here talking about development, so feel free to stop me if I'm already so deep into development. In terms of development, there are like 3 ways how you can develop on MagicLeap, but also on other mixed reality devices. So either you develop like purely native, or you can use a game engine like Unity or Unreal, and then you just add like the MagicLeap SDK or any other SDK to basically use already or like to develop for mixed reality on this game engine. Or you can develop what we call the WebXR. So here it's just completely like different. You can use JavaScript or other similar languages to develop for the web, which will be run afterwards on the browser. The one that I do recommend more starting with Unity and developing on Unity, using also their SDKs, the MagicLeap SDK. So if you want to develop any application, I would just go actually with Unity. That's the easiest, unless you already have experience with Unreal. What is also very interesting is to develop like the web, like Magic Scripts and web platform here. This is like the right tutorials basically for you. But what we do at Exhibit, we use basically Unity, and then we use MagicLeap SDK. Unity is somehow like the standard, and it's a bit easier to learn. So yeah, I'm talking so much about MagicLeap. I'm not sure in which direction you are really interested, but this is just general information on MagicLeap, on a little bit how to start developing on MagicLeap. Yeah, I don't work actually for MagicLeap, so here, just to put it very clear, I think like people from MagicLeap can talk better about MagicLeap, but at Exhibit, we just have experience of working with MagicLeap for quite some time, among other devices, but we focused a lot on MagicLeap at the beginning, so that's why we do know a lot about these headsets. Yeah, it's an American company. They mainly now they do sell in the US and in Japan. I think very soon they will also start maybe selling in Europe. So for us, based in Germany, the only way how we can basically get these devices, we need to buy them in the US and have someone shipping them to us right now. Hopefully this will be actually solved very soon, and then we can just buy them here in the US, but here in Germany. But right now, yeah, I do think you can also not buy them in India, and they are only possible to purchase in Japan and in the US. But I would skip focusing on just buying them from the beginning before I start playing around with the technology, and to see if this is the right thing for you, if this is like the right application you want to build, and if you need mixed reality, or maybe if you use augmented reality on mobile is already sufficient or enough, or if your application should be more on virtual reality. Yeah, I always recommend to not over engineer things. Don't try to just push mixed reality because it's cool, but try to see, I mean, in XR, there is like augmented reality on mobile, there is virtual reality, there is mixed reality, but then there are even others, you know? Try to see which technology that would actually solve your problem. Sometime just on mobile, like can already, like just an augmented reality on mobile can already solve the problem, the issue, or like this is all what you need. Yeah, I definitely recommend also exploring mixed reality. We do that at Exhibit, and we believe that's the future. So we continue actually focusing on mixed reality and exploring mixed reality. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm looking more to the questions, to your questions when it comes to MagicLeap or mixed reality. But this is like all what I wanted to say on MagicLeap.
Yeah, thank you so much for those insightful thoughts and sharing what exactly is Magic Leap. And moreover, the part where, like, if someone does not have a Magic Leap, so he or she can try through Magic Simulator. So yeah, it's like it's actually great to just go out and try and check out the MagicLeap.com web portal. They have their simulator there, and they have all the instructions there how to actually download the simulator, how to install the SDK. So that's actually a very nice for starter. And as Zakaria mentioned, it's actually not that easily accessible in India. It might be accessible in future days, but as of now, it's not that very much accessible. So what instead we can I would do is like just go out and try using the simulator. All right, so just let me share my screen again and just yeah, so just moving on through the agenda, like what exactly we have mixed reality, using mixed reality, what exactly we can do in the real world, and what actually many companies out there are doing there. So, um, first application that I would like to say is medical. So, medical is a domain where mixed reality is actually like being very much used, where you can actually do a virtual operation. So, like if you want to if you want to train a new doctor or say a new medical person, so you can actually just go and try. You can actually just open up the body virtually and without opening actually a physical body there out. So you can just open virtual body and just check everything in there. So you can see the heart, you can see the every part of the body without mentioning the parts of the body. So yeah, the next application where mixtuality is used is customer and retail product demo. So yeah, actually let us consider an example here to see that suppose you want to buy a furniture, so without actually taking the furniture and placing them at your home, you can actually place the virtual furniture there and check like how the furniture is actually looking there or will actually look after the physical furnitures have been brought there. So product demo is also a very nice domain where mixtuality is being used. The next domain can be is consumer and retail, where let us suppose take an example. If you want to try a watch, so without purchasing the watch, you can actually just go and try the watch or jewelry or many things out there. So customer and retail is also a very uh, near domain, a very great domain where many startups actually from India are also getting into that. um, the next domain will be manufacturing. So manufacturing is the most domain where you can say mixtuality is being used. So suppose if you are in factory and if a new trainer comes to you, so without actually going there and training him, opening the parts of a product, suppose if you suppose um, guess
I think again there is some technical glitch from Faizan's side, so no problem with that. I can continue on his behalf. And so, as he told about the manufacturing and health, and there are so many use cases in the health and education, education especially. Like recently, HoloLens revealed that when we are using a immersive tech, our student can learn around 98% of can remember around 98% of the uh, learning that he gets all the note whatever you are teaching him he can read I'm sorry, remember 98% of that. And so as more and more things will come and we can see, so I think we should start with the discussion. So Zakaria, We have
Sure.
some question for Zakaria where we will ask him and then we will continue with the live questioning and answering session. So my first question from Zakaria is, what are you doing at present in XR field?
So maybe I can answer very quickly through presentation if it's possible. What we do at Exhibit.
Yeah, you
Sure.
can.
Great. So let me just um, present here and from. Cool. Do you see my presentation?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I mean at Exhibit we basically use this technology of mixed reality to show products. Faizan mentioned that product um, let's say demos are one of the use cases of mixed reality, and this is basically our also focus. Uh, what we do more at Exhibit is that we build an experience around this product. So you don't only see the product, but you can understand what's the story of the product, how it was built, what's the story of the brand. We do actually focus more on luxury products. So it can be a luxury car, it can be luxury furniture, luxury suitcases, watches, jewelry. So that's our focus right now. So we do focus more on these products. But then again, in the future, it can actually be just any other product. Um, so when we show these products, we try to make the product itself as real as possible. So when you put a product on top of a table, you do basically see it on top of a table. But then also it comes with sound feedback. So if the product is from glass and then you put it on a table of probably wood, then you would hear certain sound. But if the product is from metal, let's say, or like plastic, then you put it on a table, you hear a completely different sound. If it's a Porsche car, maybe it comes with a certain sound. So we do use sound, we do use visuals. We also have implemented a way where people interact with the products without like the traditional way of how people would interact with software. So in the exhibit software, people don't scroll, don't type text, don't press buttons, but they mainly just use their body language to communicate with the software. So using purely hand gestures. So we try to get rid actually of the controller. We mainly use just the body language. So people just put the headsets, there are cameras there. We track their hands, we track where they look, we track the environment to understand this is a table, this is a chair, and we use all this information to make the experience as real as possible. And the vision for us, like what we want to reach a technology that will enable us to almost have virtual products not distinguishable and distinguishable from the real product. So if you have in front of you, um, let's say a Porsche and then another one, a virtual one, when you put the headsets, you almost cannot make any difference. This will of course include other technologies, not only mixed reality as we know it right now, but it can include like haptic feedback gloves and others. But that's more like the vision that we have. What we also do at Exhibit is like we do track how much time people look at each product, and that's already very valuable insights for a lot of brands. So let's say in the experience you have 10 concept products. Um, we would basically track the users, how much time they look at each product, and then feed you basically this data through like reports. We also want to push the limits when it comes to data. We want to also understand how do people feel about like certain products, not only how much time they look, but that's again the next step for us. Right now, we just measure the time. Yeah, that's in a super nutshell what we do at Exhibit. Sorry if I took a little bit more time to talk about it, but yeah.
No, that's great.
Uh,
How you are helping the market to be more easy and efficient for every consumer out there. And I think I would love to go in a market and have without going to any market and virtually feeling what I'm going to buy, and that is just amazing. What one of the best use cases in MR.
Yeah.
So my next question will be: would you like to share your journey in more detail, and what one thing which you are proud of? Where did you
Oh,
start, and what was your first experience, and then how you came up with the exhibit and all that? That will be great.
okay. My I think my journey is very similar to a lot of people, like all over the world. Yeah, maybe I just like the fact that I can speak about it is the difference. I grew up. I'm Moroccan originally. I grew up in Morocco. I studied there, and then to come to start actually by the thing that I am mostly proud of before talking about the journey. So the thing that I'm really most proud of is that I went from Morocco to Europe to study 3 years, and I had only 1,000 euros in my accounts. And I had like 3 years of studies in front of me without really like a lot of uncertainty. And I moved to a country. I moved at the beginning to France, and my French was not actually that good. So I think that's the thing or the risk that I took and changed completely my life. Um, and when it comes to exhibit, I just do see that the risk that I took again with exhibit is very similar to the first one, which is again I just had like after when you are like a foreigner in Europe, you tend to always just look for stability. You tend to, yeah, try to get that citizenship maybe as soon as possible. Try to secure a certain job. Try to maybe buy an apartment and just like get yourself very stable and secure. Um, I did the opposites. So I felt secure at certain points, and I had like a very good life, great, earning very good salary, and while a lot of my foreign friends, also Indian friends, they were focusing more on let me become more stable, let me buy that apartment, and let me become German. I just said, okay, no, I'm just dropping everything and starting my own company, which was like very unusual. Believe me, like a lot of mainly foreign friends, they were like, you should not. No, that's crazy. Like, stay a little bit more, get more that citizenship, buy that apartments. But then I just decided, no, I just don't want my life to be like that, and I want really to prove that yeah, also foreigners can make it in Europe. So that was like the one of the main motivations for me is just to prove that I can do it, a Moroccan can do it, any person, foreigner can actually do it. They can have a super innovative company. And after that, I did feel that it was a lot of risk at the beginning, but I do think I'm also super proud of that decision. What I have learned in after I quit, the opportunities that I have right now compared to if I have stayed like working for a big company, I think it's just like not comparable at all. So yeah, I do recommend a lot of foreigners to just quit, take a lot of risk, and just do it. Like just take that bold step.
Okay, that's really great, and I really appreciate it that you did something crazy enough, like the different one, and we need such people like you who think different and do different. So
Yeah.
that is great. I think Faizan can take from here. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Tejas. Yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties. Maybe odds are not in favor today. So let's move to the next question that we have here. Is like, what is the first thing that comes in your mind when you hear about mixed reality? So that's like, what is your definition of mixed reality? What would you say?
So actually, the first thing that comes to my mind is this um, virtual layer and completely changing what is the definition of reality. So I immediately see that okay, very soon people will be wearing these goggles, and then when they walk outside, just the streets won't be the same streets, and you would just have a lot of not only information popping up everywhere, but you can have like you can download themes, experiences. Let's say today you just want to see dinosaurs hanging around, or you want to see whatever crazy creatures or magic creatures, um, or you want to see some kind of art. You want to even maybe see friends, just walking around or hanging around you. So it will completely change what is the definition of reality for us. The same way music is already doing. So when you are just, let's say I am in this space in the same room, two people in the same room, but then I'm listening to hip hop music and the other person is listening to jazz. We do not experience the space in the same way. So already music has changed that, and I think adding also visuals with mixed reality would completely create a magical world. So this is like the really first thing that comes to my mind when I think about mixed reality, and that's also one of the reasons that we want to be in mixed reality. We want to be in the future and keep exploring and building things in the future. I cannot hear you, Faizan. I think you are muted.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for that. Yeah, so as I was saying that the answer was really great. Like it would actually help many beginners to understand what actually mixed reality can do and what mixed reality is. So like there are many confusions out there for to newbies or what to understand what mixed reality is. So which makes me to ask my next question. Like as there are many newbies here, so I guess you mentioned many like how to get started with Magic Leap. So I would just like to more get on the question that are there any specific documentation or blogs or video tutorials which you would recommend to newbies?
Um, so, like honestly, when it comes to developing specifically on Magic Leap, the tutorial is the best thing. Then you have like the forum where you have like an interactive community. Twitter is used a lot by the community, so there is even like a dedicated Magic Leap for developers account on Twitter, and a lot of stuff is happening on Twitter. So if you follow there, you would get connected to like a lot of developers and communities on Twitter. There is a very active community in Japan. I'm also very connected to them on like a Magic Leap community in Japan. And apart from that, also like in the US here and there. Yeah, but I do recommend to just start first of all by going through these tutorials on Magic Leap webpage, and maybe having an account. And if you have also like anything to share, just share it on Twitter and tag Magic Leap for developers or Magic Leap, and you would start like getting feedback, and maybe you will even get connected to more people. So a huge part of the community is happening on Twitter. When it comes to when it comes to HoloLens and Unreal, so even I'm like now talking about Magic Leap, but when it comes to these two, if you develop on HoloLens or Unreal, there is a Slack channel for both of them, like separate Slack channels, and you can just be on these Slack channels, and there is like so much happening there, like a lot of developers from all over the world interacting, sharing things, sharing questions. So yeah, for Magic Leap, there is still no Slack channel. I try to convince them to have a Slack channel too. Yeah, so this is what I can say.
Yeah, the resources are really like the specifically the tutorials of any that Magic Leap or like any product. That's the best thing to learn from or to get started. So yeah, and many other which you mentioned too. So
Yeah.
let's move on to our next question. Like as you are into mixed reality with Magic Leap, so do you have any like any dream project or what's the one thing which you want to develop using MR with Magic Leap to make life fun?
Um, there are a lot of I mean we keep so first of all the focus for us is really to build a super cool elevated experience like exhibit experience, and this is like I would say the full focus for us is just to make product visualization or experiences first super real, but then at the same time super magic with all the effects, with all the uh, sound feedback, maybe at certain point also haptic feedback. So that's really the focus. When it comes to just fun applications, of course, we are developers. We keep just having a lot of ideas like popping up here and there. Sometimes we do actually document these ideas. I would say like just a lot of games. And okay, here I'm giving you an idea. If you implement it, just tag me. We want to actually implement a ping pong table, which is like very, very possible. So you just like and this one with the controller. So you just have a controller and then you tie rackets to it. That's not super hard. And then you just have a ping pong table in front of you. And then you have this multiplayer scenario where two people are just playing ping pong. So you save a lot of space for a lot of people who want to just play ping pong and they don't want to have a huge ping pong table or even a couple of tables there. This is like super, super easy. It shouldn't, like once you really go through the tutorial, it shouldn't take you actually so much time, like just a few days actually, and then you can get it done because there is already the sample for the controller. So you just replace the 3D model with another 3D model that you can buy online, and then just place in the table as a 3D object. So once you learn how to place a cube, which you will learn actually in 3 hours, 4 hours, you can just replace that cube by another asset that you just buy online, like the table. And what will be a bit challenging is basically to have the multiplayer scenario. But then you can start also very simple, like just one person playing against him or herself. So here I gave you the idea. Look, if you implement it, just tag me and say it was like from, I mean, a lot of people, I think they do have this idea, but probably for fun, we just do it some weekend, just actually for fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. Like ping pong would actually help people to stay entertained. Like they actually the headache of buying up a physical table and keeping
Yeah.
those balls and rackets somewhere safe. So yeah, that would like using that application that people would be safe from that. So let us take our next question. And as you mentioned, placing a 3D model on the controller. So it gives me like we can do many other things in mixed reality other than application development. So what do you say, like what are other careers in XR that people can opt other than and as an XR application developer?
Um, so there are a lot of other fields that are very, very connected to XR. Like the first one is just like 3D modeling, creating 3D objects. I think there will be a lot of need for that more and more. So more we go into even XR in general, like VR, AR, MR, there will be huge need for 3D like 3D model developers, just 3D modeling in general. That's one thing. 3D scanning also, like how you would create a 3D scan of any product. There are already so many existing applications. There is like a lot of research on that. You can even find open source projects on that. So that's also one direction. This is more computer vision. Computer vision in general, that's very, very linked to XR. Like how do you do hand tracking? How would you maybe even do space mission? Eye tracking is also a very, very interesting field. So these things, and then AI. I think AI is always like there. Like for example, avatars is also a very huge topic. But then to make avatars, and we do have actually avatars in our application. Right now, we are using an integration with Microsoft Azure to basically do the text to speech, but probably at a certain point we develop it by ourselves. But then, yeah, just having like chatbots in general, because avatars are really big topic in mixed reality and also in others. How you would make that avatar maybe understand what a human is saying. So you do have a microphone in this headset, and you would maybe want to process that data and probably have the chatbot like more like smarter. So anyone working on chatbots and stuff can have an integration with the whole XR field. There will be a new kind of data design. It's a huge thing, and this is a completely new way of designing. So in mixed reality, and we are facing this all the time, you are not designing for an environment that you do control, which is the case maybe for virtual reality or any mobile application or web application. So you know, okay, there are like certain sizes of screens. Okay, I design like this and this and this. I place a button here, a button there, and that's it. Or in virtual reality, you know the room, you control pretty much everything. In mixed reality, you don't control pretty much anything. So I can have the experience at home. I can have it in an office. I can have it and there is in front of me a bed or in front of me a table or like a lot of windows or like people passing by. You are basically designing for an environment that is like continuously changing, and that's a challenge. Like, where do you place things? How do you make sure that people actually do understand where the experience starts and ends? So that's a huge challenge. Sound is very, 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 very important. Like spatial sound, which is maybe like more complex and sophisticated than normal sound that you would have in any other application on mobile or even in virtual reality. So here you can just do so much magic with sound, and we are experimenting right now a lot with sound. I would even add like that's people who have been working like in theater, just designing stages, or even in concert houses, might have a lot of very, very good uh, insights and input when it comes to mixed reality or XR in general, because they have been designing sounds, they have been like putting objects, decoration, people, how would people actually move on stage. So there will be a lot of collaboration with people working actually for theater. So yeah, that's why I actually do love mixed reality. This is not like a small thing. This is not like maybe like blockchain where, yeah, this is just an isolated technology. Mixed reality is actually a new ecosystem, or XR in general is just a new ecosystem that is involving almost like all kind of people. So yeah, these are like just some short examples. There are like even more skills that would be actually needed in the future.
Yeah, like that's great. One thing that you told, combining two different domains like AI and mixed reality. So yeah, combining two different domains has always been a great thing. So yeah, that would actually bring many new possibilities out there. So I guess like we can now let uh, take questions from attendees.
Mhm.
So yeah, we have a question here. Like, being a beginner in this field, what exactly should someone start learning? Like, can you suggest some sources of learning? Yeah, like actually we had this question in our questionnaire. So like, many students are out there, so it can also be renamed as like, what is the career advice would you give to a college student, like who's already working as a newbie or as an experienced in the XR field? So what is one advice which you would give to the beginners out or students out there in this field?
Yeah, I mean, do start with Unity, um, and just go actually through the Magic Leap tutorial. If you choose Magic Leap as a headset, or I think if you also want to choose another headset, you can, yeah, you can already use it. You can also start in augmented reality before you move to mixed reality and develop on AR kits, AR core. But the one of the main constants is like always just Unity. So um, just pick any tutorial, download Unity, and start building things on Unity, playing around with Unity. The best thing I think is to fix the idea, fix a project that you want to achieve to work on. Um, this is like the best way you could actually learn, and like that's just my opinion, or I would say that's even just my style. Like having a project saying, okay, I want to build even on augmented reality on mobile, I just want to display whatever, a ping pong table. Like now that we are talking about ping pong, now all the people would start developing ping pong. um, but yeah, you can just fix it and then say, okay, I'm gonna develop this, and I have like 2 weeks or something to do that. And your goal should be actually to build it and to launch it as an application on augmented reality mobile. Or you just say, okay, I'm developing on Magic Leap, and my goal is like in 2-3 weeks is to have that game or whatever already there. So this is actually how I would start. First, fixing like a project idea, and then resources. When it comes to resources, I can share this link actually in the chat, and that's a very, very good start. Focus on Unity. Um, I'm not paying me to say that, but just actually say what also a lot of other experts would say. Um, yeah, I think Unreal is just like too sophisticated for a newbie. But yeah, just go through this tutorial, focus on the Unity side, and just fix a project and the deadline for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so yeah, that's really great advice for student many students out there. And like, yeah, starting with like about talking my experience, my personal experience, like I have with Unity, that's actually much better than Unreal Engine. So yeah, so like getting started with Unity and all of those stuff. And thanks for the link you added in the chat. So yeah, actually whatever we receive from you is really insightful for all of us and really beneficial for all of us in some way.
Yeah.
Maybe not now, maybe in the upcoming time. So I would like to just like, as there are no more questions here, so I would just like to say one thing, like what where other students can connect to you, like if they want to reach out to you or connect to you, so where they can connect to you.
So I mainly use like LinkedIn when it comes to sharing about mixed reality, but then I use Instagram to share about motivation and stuff. So it depends actually what you are really interested in. Just follow me on LinkedIn or follow me actually on Instagram. These are the main two sources, but for different purposes. Instagram is motivation, and then um, the LinkedIn is mainly like about mixed reality and exhibits.
Yeah, so I'm just sharing Zakaria's LinkedIn profile in the chat. So do go and send him a connection request there. So just go and reach out to him and just say hi to him. He would definitely reply and just love to see what you all are working on. And Dikshita says in the chat that she's trying to work in a ping pong application in augmented reality. So yeah,
I
that's so. Do you
Yeah,
want to say something?
now a lot of people would just I would just see a lot of ping pong applications popping up here and there.
I would like to ask something, yeah. If
Sure thing.
Yeah, what are some other careers in XR, in MR field that I can opt for other than being a XR application developer?
Um, so in XR now, actually in the team, we start having more and more people super specialized, you know? So we have one person, for example, specialized just in lighting, you know, where to place the light and how to place it. There is like another person just specialized in sound design. So just like what kind of sound is coming when. So we already started seeing these specializations. One is specialized just in animations. So just like what kind of animations would we have? Shaders also is like really very important topic. How to just implement different shaders, support different material on different headsets. Um, but I would say like really for a beginner, I wouldn't think about getting specialized. I would just say start as a XR developer in general, play around with AR, MR, VR, just the XR developer in general, and then you would discover more and more like where you want to dive deep into. The whole field is still like very newbie. Like the whole field is actually very um, like fresh and it's in its very early stages. So yeah, there is still a huge room to basically cover a lot of things. And I don't think that we will start seeing specialization like on a big scale even in the coming 2 years, probably after that. But yeah, it's still like already it's still like a very fresh and new field.
Okay,
Yeah, so
that's really great. Thank you for that, Fazan.
yeah, so as I guess we are running out of time, and as we have covered most of the part of the agenda. So if you have any question, let it be any small question, do reach out to, you can reach out to Zakaria, you can reach out to Tejas, you can reach out to any one of us. We would be really glad to help you. And as Zakaria has like more what you can say, more view of this MR field. He also has a startup, as I mentioned in the um, the starting session, that the exhibit was mentioned by Forbes last weekend.
Yeah.
That's really great. So like his organization is really doing great work. So he can share much of his insights there. So he has many webinars through, and they recently had a TED Talk too, which was really great. I actually watched the whole TED Talk. So you can just go check out on Exhibit's portfolio. There are many things out there. There are many blogs out there to check out. So those will be really helpful. So
Yeah.
just, do you have any last words, Zakati? Then we can end the session.
Um, so I'm just adding also like the link to the website. Feel free to check it out. Check exactly what we do. Um, I would say just do believe in XR. I think it is really the future, and if you start learning it right now, um, you will see the return on investment like in the coming next years. So really do focus on it. It's like you are starting to work on AI in its very early days, and at like one point you would just start hearing there is only XR developers, like a lot of XR developers. So you have a very good opportunity right now. Do use it. Be a pioneer. Be an early adopter, and just jump on it. It's so easy to learn. Just jump on it. Do it. Do it right now. It is the future, and if you do it right now, you will be in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, so like XR is actually the future, and in the upcoming COVID time, it has helped many people out there, and many domains are there which are already started using, and many organizations are there which have already started using XR. So I guess today's session was really insightful for everyone, and thanks Zakaria for taking out time and joining with us and sharing so much insightful thoughts with us. So I know that you have many much things to share with us, but
Yeah.
we do have a time limitation here. So we would just love to connect you and see. Really, like I would encourage the audience to just go and connect to him on LinkedIn. So you will really learn a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so that we can conclude our session here. So before you go, I'm sharing a feedback link in the chat section. So it would just take a 30-second from your whole day. So just take out time, go out and fill the form, and let us know that what are the areas where we can improve in hosting the session, and how did you like today's session. So that would be really helpful for us. And we do also have a third day series in this ARMR days, so which is mixed reality with HoloLens. So do join us at the same time, 5 p.m. IST. Um, okay, so yeah, I would say this. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you for having me. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.